Hey, what's up, La Familia? You crazy football-loving nutters. This is Ray Hudson, and you are luxuriating in listening to the Inter Miami podcast with the stupefyingly magnificent Jay and Alex. Two lads who are as electrifying as a hairdryer thrown into a hot tub. Stay tuned, because you know what it's going to be. It's going to be magisterial with an amplifier.
The cross goes, he's done it again. Taylor swings it for Victor Ulloa. It's one up. Ulloa and Taylor. Job done for Inter Miami. Led it in by Montreal. What? 6. It's 2 for Miami. Damian Lowell doubles the lead.
Sometimes you can just sense something wicked this way it comes.
Sometimes I know things.
Sometimes I'm right. Very rare. Usually
if you
wrong.
If you listen to my wife, it's very few and far between. But sometimes I am right.
I haven't been right in 8 years. I think I was right one time, and I nearly fell over.
I mark it on the calendar. So
It's always a great day. Oh, all right. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Inter Miami podcast. I am Jay Kington, alongside, as always, my friend, my compadre, my brother, Mr. Than Harrington, fully recovered from God knows what you had, buddy. You were sick, lost your voice, probably screaming at some little children at Riley's futsal game. How you doing? How does it feel to be breathing normally again?
I mean, I'm glad I can talk. I don't think everybody else is happy I can talk. I know my folks at work were glad that I was pretty much using sign language to get them to do what I needed them to do. It was the weirdest thing, dude. Felt great. 2 hours later, couldn't talk. Wasn't sick. Wasn't feeling down. Just boom, done. So glad to not be talking like a mix of Darth Vader and Bane. Yeah, just glad to be back at it. Let's get after it.
Yeah, man. So, just working our way through this beautiful preseason. I think when we last left the fans, to be fair, there's not a ton of stuff that happens on preseason. It's been a little bit quiet for us, honestly, but there have been some preseason games. We've had some results, haven't really gone our way. One did, but we'll kind of get into that a little bit more about right, basically probably just over the halfway mark. 3 games left on the schedule, and hey, man, I'm a little concerned. I'm a lot of concerned, but we're gonna do it, man. We're gonna get through it. It's already been 3 years of pain. What's a 4th year of pain?
I mean, I'm here for it. I'm already numbed up to it. I'm ready for it. I'm still buying my tickets to go out. I'm coming down for Orlando, already shelling out money for that. I don't know. I'm seeing the stuff you're sending me from the match you got to attend pitch side. I'm seeing stuff that's been posted different spots from camera footage. I think it was the Revs game. We saw some aerial drone footage of Leo's goal. While that was a bright spot, there's some glaring issues that I felt like should have been addressed. And no,
here we are. No, I don't know.
Here
Shout out to Leo for even being like, yo, you guys got to let me post this on my social media. Otherwise, I don't know if there'd be any footage that leaked from that game. But, hey, like I said, man, I've been wrong so many times in my life. Just ask my parents, and 3 seasons of being optimistic, thinking, hey, this is going to be our year. And I've been wrong every time. So I'm, hopefully I'm wrong this time in my concerns. And we just come out and, just blow through the East with ease. But, oh man, I guess before, how do we want to do this, buddy? Let's go with good news first. We'll put the preseason games on the back burner for a few minutes here. We did, obviously, we spoke about this as basically being a done deal. I think we announced it on here before the club had even made some announcement, but it is official now. And everyone was made aware with a pink arepa and a nice little halftime show introduction, if you will. We're talking about none other than the man himself, Mr. Arroz con Pollo, Josef Martinez, one of the better strikers in the league's history, and probably the best over the past, I don't know, removing some injuries, 5 years or so.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue his CV, and it's only going to make the team better, hopefully. I mean, he needs to have a striker, or I'm sorry, a midfielder, a creative playmaker for him to be able to pull the strings
Let's
he
not
needs to
get there.
pull. But
Let's stay to the positives. Let's
I
stay to
know,
the
I know,
positives.
you
How's the
see,
attack? How's that attack looking now, buddy?
listen,
Let's
if
just
we do,
hypothetically assume we can get them the service. How are those two up top? How do you feel about just those two?
well, I think, okay, if you're forcing me to be positive, thank you, sir. So we actually have, a target man inside the box with Leo. He'll be able to get up and get down on the corners. He's a good target in the air. Joseph is going to make the moves inside the box he needs to make to create and to score the goals that we desperately need. Stefanelli in there is going to help as well. I don't see a lot of him, so I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, hey, seems to be the trend. I will say from the video that Leo basically forced the club to release, Joseph was involved. So big things coming. I think the most logical thing here is that we're gonna roll out in that 4-4-2 diamond, like we did towards the end of last season once Leo came back, and Gonzalo was just too good to take out. But it's Phil Neville. You never know what you're going to get. We certainly have the pieces to play in more of a one center forward option, whether it be 4-3-3, 3-4-3, 4-2-3-1, whatever Phil wants to do. And the good thing about Josef is he can play as a winger as well. But I think just you gotta. If it was up to me, I would go with the two strikers up top, roll the 4-4-2 diamond, and then to your point, and seems to be every single person's point, that tells me they don't put much weight into preseason, but in the same breath will tell me Stefanelli is the guy. He's a starter day one because in his preseason game against the second stringers and the third stringers, he looked great. So for me, I need to physically see something because I'm a little scarred with Gonzalo's early years, with Matuidi, even my boy who I fight valiantly for, Pizarro. We brought in some players that had good resumes, good profiles, good results, and they just haven't found success in the MLS. So for me, I'm not convinced that Stefanelli is a starter day one. I'm hoping my mind is changed after the next 3 preseason games. And of course, the Fiesta, which we will get into a little later in the show to wrap up this season. But, for me, it's still is assuming Mota is going to be back and ready for, a full 90 minutes or close there too. You got to assume it's going to be Mota and Gregory. Probably Robbie Taylor. And then that last one is the question, right? Is it Pizarro? Is it Stefanelli? Are we forcing Pizarro to come play the 10? Or are we going to let him play on the left side, which is typically where we're playing Mota, but Mota could play on the right side with his left foot. So I don't know. That's the one thing I'm not sure on. Everyone seems to be absolutely positive it's Stefanelli. They are all very high on him. But again, I want to see you play against some starters, and I need to physically see you myself.
Well, you also can't bury Bryce Duke that far. I mean, he started showing his potential, especially towards the end of the year. And it'd be a shame now to bury him in a bench where he could actually be the difference maker. I'm not saying he's 100% there yet, but he was showing the flashes in the pan. Let's cultivate that. Let's make that a continued growth for him rather than bury him out.
Is he ready for a full 90? Can he be the guy for 90 minutes? He did get some European training this summer, but do you think he is fully ready, assuming he's fit and can come back? He was back at practice, which was a very good news. And Phil's going to have a problem that is not a bad problem to have, is you've got a lot of midfielders that you can play in various positions. But back to my point, do you think Bryce Duke, is it enough time? Because he was a super sub last year, and if he had to go full 90, still moments of brilliance, but then some arrows as well. He's can get bodied off the ball quite easy. Do you think this is enough time for him to be that guy for 90 minutes?
I think after the Montreal game and maybe even NYCFC, we'll have a better idea of it. If you're forcing me to answer 100% now, I would say I would rather go with familiarity over an unknown and sprinkle in the unknown as we need to, if that makes any sense.
Sprinkle it, baby. Sprinkle it. I like it. I like it. Anyway, little tangent there. Let's continue with the good news, with something we needed to reinforce that dreadful back line we've had for only 3 seasons. What are your thoughts on this? And since you gave such a beautiful, like, Webster dictionary breakdown on the pronunciation,
Well,
I can
listen,
take that from you.
you always give me crap for my pronunciations. So
You're really bad at Latin, but you're not bad at
am.
Europe. You're not bad at the European, the Far Eastern bloc. You got this, buddy.
I am trying. Okay, listen, I am trying. I've done better over 3 years. But we have Sergei Kryavtsov coming from Shakhtar Donetsk. If you're not familiar, the Ukrainian club, always a perennial house over in Ukraine. They always seem to end up in Europe, in UCL, in UEL. They are 7-time Premier League trophy winners while he was there, 7 Ukrainian Cups, 6 Ukrainian Super Cups, as well as UCL and UEL appearances. Personally, I'm excited for it. I know there's been a lot of hate on the signing. I know everybody thought that we were going to pull the trigger on Callens and a few other players that were floating around. Aaron Long was a name that was floating around for a bit. I like the fact that we're bringing over somebody who's played in a much, to me, and I'm not taking anything away from the MLS, but a much tougher league over there. He has shown that he is ready to battle it out. He wants to go to war for this club, and I'm all here for it. It could blow up in our face, but you told me to stay positive. He is a little bit on the older side. So,
And you're being negative because you shied him 1 on the Ukrainian Premier League champions. He's got 8 instead of 7. So it could be. He looks like he looks like that guy. I know people were joking saying, I can't remember if it's GTA 3 or GTA 4, whichever one Nico was. They're kind of joking. It looks like that, but dude's got a resume. He's going to be the replacement for Damian Lowe, who we're going to get to right after this, right? We need a strong leader. Damian, similar to Pizarro a little bit, like very polarizing. People either love him or hate him. He certainly did make several mistakes. Do you think, again, without seeing him play in the MLS at all, are you about on the same level as the McVay, Damian Lowe? Well, actually, it wasn't even that, right? Because McVay was playing more on the left wing anyway, and they're bringing, like Mabika or whoever they could, Sailor, to fill that. Are you more satisfied or happy right now the fact that we can keep McVay in the center back position, which is what he prefers, and then have a reinforcement, what a lot of people are expecting to be a better option than Damian Lowe? Do you think those two together will be able to get it together at a pretty expedited rate to get some fortification and hopefully some good results for us in the beginning of the season?
if not those two, I believe Kryavtsov and Sailor will have a good pairing as well. I know that Mobika has been working with Neville, especially in the aerial attack, whether it be on set pieces and defending, getting the ball out with his head, getting more comfortable on the ball. So that will come. But either one of those three for me, Kryavtsov, Sailor, or McVay, could offer a tantalizing tandem in the back that we've needed.
Yeah, and I think I might have got a little ahead of myself, right? Because I guess in my mind, again, without really seeing great results or anything, Franco Negri, right? Another really good profile. He's supposed to be that true left back option for us. I think a lot of people, including myself on this one, are assuming that he's going to be the starter, but you're right. It could be some variation. McVay could still play on the left wing with Sergey and Sailor, more centralized. I think probably what we know right now for sure, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you have any differing views, I think we know that Sergey is going to be one of the center backs, and we know that Yedlin's going to be the right back. The other center back and the left back, well, there's some variations we could see. Do you agree with that? Or is there any other kind of, I guess, preference you would like to have on that back line?
No, I agree. I agree 100%. The other thing that's going to be beneficial to this move is Sergey is going to bring all that experience to a Ryan Sailor, to a Mabika, to Ian Frey. We can't forget Ian. Congratulations, Ian. He's back at training. I know that is something you and I are both extremely happy about.
Indeed.
Brutal injury, didn't deserve to have what happened, but such is life. Glad to have you back, my man. And even to a lesser extent, not just the center backs, but look at Noah. Noah was looking to get some first team minutes at the left back spot. Sergey is going to be able to help, hopefully, share some experiences from working with some decent left backs or, in totality, defenders, and share some wealth and knowledge across that entire back line. So, long story short, yes, Yedlin, Sergey, and then fill in the blank left back and center back.
Yeah, and here's the good news, right? We have always kind of lacked depth on that back line. Last year, we got a nice little taste of having some options in terms of midfielders and wingers that we've kind of been shallow on. We've been shallow, honestly, the entire duration of this team. And when, the first year when they maybe weren't as shallow as they were the second year, the talent was just pretty pitiful at best. Sorry to all those I offend, but hey, we'll have some options. So, if someone gets injured, we'll have another body that should be able to hold it down, which is certainly reassuring. But, we mentioned Sergey coming in to replace Damian Lowe. Where'd your boy Damian go to?
Listen, I knew you were going to do this to me. I damn well knew it. He went up just 2 hours east of me to the Philadelphia Union. He's already been
first jersey ever owned.
That is not true. My first jersey ever owned was an 06 white Wayne Rooney and a 06 Zidane. So piss off. No, jokes aside, though, he's already been in training. Watching his social media, you could tell he wasn't uber thrilled from what it seemed like. There's no secret. He loved Miami. He loved the area. He loved his team. He was our favorite fourth striker that we had on our team when we got to watch him up top. I was not one that hated Damian Lowe. There were sometimes he frustrated the hell out of me. Don't get me wrong, but I don't understand the hate. I really don't. He went out there, he balled out.
Miami, bro. People love to hate. I'm right there with you. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but he also made some really key plays for us at times. So I'm right there with you.
It's just, I don't know. We got to get over ourselves. I know it's easy for me to say that from the outside looking in for a few more years anyways, until I'm down there. But I don't know. Damian was a stalwart when he needed him to be, and he provided a calming presence when we were really thin in the ranks. Not much more you can say. I wish him the best of luck. I know we had some good interactions with him from time to time. So, best of luck, dude.
Yeah. And, hey, go follow in Juli Carranza's footsteps and really have an awakening in Philadelphia. Go win Defender of the Year, and then everyone here is going to be like, oh, no, we should going to play like that for us, whatever. I'm used to just a negative fan base at this point. It's turning me.
But where is he going to fit in that back line? That back line was solid as it was. Is he going to be a rotational player now? Or are they planning on losing somebody?
You're always one injury away from shining.
No, I know that, but you had Glesnes, Elliott, and Kai Wagner. Lowe's not going to go over and play right back.
True. It'll be interesting to see. I'm just saying, I'm trying to be positive for Damian because I do respect him, quite a bit. But we'll see. There's a high chance Kai Wagner's offloaded in the summer window as well, right? There's teams in Europe that are interested in Kai Wagner, stud player. I'm sure that there's his home country of Germany there's several teams there that probably want him back. So we'll see. Best of luck. Again, I'm not nearly as much of a hater. You see me day in and day out fending off all these Pizarro critics and haters, quick to forget that he was our shining star in season 1 and all that, alongside Lewis Morgan. I will give you that. Is that
why you leave me on red when I start talking shit about Pizarro? Is that why you never answer my text after that?
I have to do it all day, bro. Look, man, I'm all in on Pizarro this season. Like, if he doesn't play well, then I'm probably not going to hear the end of it for the entire season because our Discord is just built like that.
I promise you, I will lead that army. Yeah. You will be Jon Snow standing in the field against Ramsay Bolton's army.
That's what it's been.
Yeah.
That's literally what it's been. Except for like one other person will chime in there and be like, no, I agree. Stupid move to buy him out. Like, whatever. Anyway.
And then we beat him down. But anyways.
Yeah.
So Jay, more kind of a heartbreaking move here. Tell us about, I mean, we kind of alluded to it a little bit, but what's going on with our boy Pozuelo?
Yeah, so this is a little heartbreaking. We got tipped off after the Vasco game from the man himself, I'm not going to reveal any names, but he's the guy we all love, right? Into another one of our friends, kind of a double source situation there. And unfortunately, you got sick, then I got sick, then you lost your voice. So we had to delay it a little bit. We wanted to be the ones kind of breaking on the podcast circuit, right? But yeah, rumor started probably I don't know how long goes that Vasco game? 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks? I don't even know what day it is, honestly. I'm on 2 hours of sleep with this new baby. I have no idea what my life is right now. But Pizarro, they just couldn't make the money work, right? They wanted max TAM. He wanted DP money. I think his number was like $4 million around there.
Pozuelo, not Pizarro. Pozuelo.
Sorry. See, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
2 hours.
super sleep deprived. Pozuelo wanted like $4 million. And we didn't want to give him a DP spot. Okay. Here's the situation here. Gregory was technically a DP. We buy down Gregory. We have to buy down Gregory to non-DP level in this window before the season. We cannot do it in the summer window. So that opens up a DP spot. Pozuelo wants it. We don't want to give Pozuelo that DP spot. We want a max TAM deal, probably, maybe even offer maybe a potential DP the following year, because we're holding out for that summer window for that Hail Mary of Leo Messi. And as crazy as that sounds, as much as you and I are getting sick of this rumor and the messages we get about every single month when this thing recycles itself over and over, I'm starting to believe once again that this is going to happen. Like he hasn't re-signed with PSG. He knows this. We're basically like one of the few other clubs he's taking serious. We know he loves Miami, wants to give his family the opportunity to live in America. If I'm not mistaken, I know he's one property down here. I think he's 2 properties actually. So it makes sense. But that's why we didn't want to bring Pozuelo back. Now, to the point of people hating Pizarro, they're also kind of blaming Pizarro for the reason we don't have Pozuelo back, because we could have bought out Pizarro and then got Pozuelo as a DP. So we're basically buying out Pizarro for almost $2 million, then offering Pozuelo $4 million. So we're dropping $6 million to make this happen. And it just wasn't working out. We were trying. He did want to stay. We just couldn't get the numbers right. And I think it was a pretty mutual, amicable, shake hands, love you guys, good luck thing. He's going off to the Turkish side, Konyaspor. Sorry. Not sure if that's right. But, here's what I will say. Given the hype of Stefanelli that I see every single day, I have to believe that Chris Henderson knows something that maybe we don't. And maybe why he was so comfortable letting Pozuelo walk and not spending more money than necessary to buy out Pizarro and bring him here. Could that be Stefanelli? I'm kind of having that thought. I could see that connection there. But unfortunately, man, we don't have Pozuelo, and that's what made everything click, right? Yeah, we lost the first 5 games. We won our 6th last season. Then we started battling. We won 1 here, maybe win 2 here, lose 1, maybe lose 2, kind of half and half, 50-50 our way through the season, right? We were still in like the 10 to 14 spot for the most of the season. Pozuelo comes, unlocks Gonzalo, unlocks the offense. He's the string. He's the engine. He's the magic, right? He is the magic powder that makes this whole thing tick. Be Stefanelli? Is it going to be Pizarro? If so, can they even do it to the same degree? And if not, then we're going to be in for a pretty long season, I feel.
Yeah, I cannot take another season of LGP, Figal, long ball out the back. Like, I know they were gone, but that's when we could not get the midfield firing. That's what we reverted to, and other teams feasted off of us because they knew that we were playing with 2/3 of a team. The other third was lost in translation. We also can't sit here and expect Mota, as much as you want this to happen, to knock off 40-yard cannons, every single game. I mean, he probably has a better He'd probably have a better field goal accuracy than the Cowboys kicker in the postseason. But I mean, we're not kicking field goals here. We're shooting on net. So
We're not. And I don't want to go back to just let's play the wings and cross it in. Like the great thing about Pozuelo is we could play up the spine, we could play through the middle, and find the spaces, and it was beautiful. And if we're just going to be yeeting balls into the box, hoping that Leo or maybe Yosef can get ahead to it, well, I'd feel a lot more reassured if I could see them connect one cross or corner in a game. Because in preseason games rather, because from what I've seen this preseason, it hasn't been there, and it's been kind of embarrassing, specifically the corners. And then we've always struggled with set pieces, in swingers, out swingers into the box, and we don't have Gonzalo anymore to try and rip a absolute rocket into the top corner. So probably going back to Moda, who almost drilled a beautiful one last year. But there are some things we need to figure out, and we're going to need to figure them out quick, or we're going to be in a little bit of trouble here. So anyway, let's move on. We are wrapping up the preseason with the Futbol Fiesta. Tell us. I misspoken. Montreal. There's 3 more games: the 11th, the 15th, and the 18th. The last one being on the 18th against Austin, with Montreal being on the 15th. Anyway, sorry, wanted to correct myself. Tell us about the Futbol Fiesta.
So, from what I understand, the Futbol Fiesta is something that came about after which team backed out due to visa issues, sir? Do you remember that off the top of your head? That's the one thing I didn't write down.
Nope.
Okay. Well, the team that we originally slated to play had visa issues. They couldn't get it situated, even though the promised club it would get situated. Lo and behold, here we are. We will be playing Austin FC at home. It's actually going to be a pretty awesome event from what it's looking like. The gates are going to be opening for season ticket members at 2 p.m. The general public will be able to join in at 3 p.m. and the preseason scrimmage will kick off at 4 p.m. on the 18th. It's going to be a good chance for everybody to get a good first look at Martinez, Sergei, Nicolas Stefanelli, and Franco Negri. They're all slated to be in some way, shape, or form as a final tune-up for that match. And then there's also going to be an exclusive event after the match for the season ticket holders. It's going to be a first team meet, greet, autograph session, little jelly that I will not be able to get down there for that. Wouldn't be able to attend anyways, not being a season ticket holder member. But it is what it is. And we get to witness the unveiling of what could be my favorite version of La Palma, La Rosa Negra. It's going to be called La Noche, which if you have paid any attention to any social media, everybody's ripping on us because all we did was change the color pink. That's literally all it is.
We added some little wave things across the chest instead of La Palma. But to your point, it's La Palma 2.0. What a letdown.
Yeah. I mean, the heartbeat, they got us. Hook, line, and sinker. I was all for it. Let's go. Absolutely. But then we're going to be playing with the heartbeat and then La Noche with 2 different pinks. And I don't get what we're doing here. Like, it's a running joke amongst the MLS community that, well, hey, it's the preseason, so Inter Miami's going to change their color pink again because, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to be negative about it, but it's almost embarrassing. Like, even when Beckham put it up on his Instagram, he had the Pepto pink hat with the almost neon pink La Noche. Like, what do you think about it?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I think Adidas is lazy, honestly. I think we only get 2 revisions and 4 pictures to describe what we want. It's just pitiful. It's going to be, well, it might be a stretch. It's going to be a good game. Austin was a really good team last year. This will be a good way. I've been told, I guess, with my, saying my pessimistic views or negative views. I say speaking the truth is not being negative, and we've struggled in preseason. This will kind of be the end all be all to give us a really solid idea of where we stand after this Austin game. I think it's going to be a pretty tough game. Will be a fun time at Drive Pink. And yeah, I mean, again, to your point, unimpressed with the jersey. A lot of people like it just for the new shade of pink, but I don't know, man. I'm still of the mind where our white jersey was my favorite jersey. I thought that was the coolest one. Kind of the shout out to David Beckham, little Real Madrid swag, had the little tiny herons on it, which was a class touch. And the best part is, you know, if you're, with your homies or something and it's hot outside, you sweat, you see a little nip from a friend, man. Hey, everyone loves a little nip now and then. So, that's my preference. But
So
whatever. We're holding out for the next jersey, right?
So talking about little nip for a friend. Yes,
What?
there's a good
All
segue
right.
for this. All
Let's
right?
go there.
There was a raging discussion on the Discord. Do you want to see another white kit? Do you want to? Do you want to? You
Undoubtedly.
do?
I like that pearl sheen class.
I do not want to be continued to be known as Wet T-Shirt Contest FC.
They could have made it a little thicker.
Correct. I am a bigger guy. No one wants to see this. I do have the David Beckham one I got for dirt cheap is the only reason why I have it, right? I'm not going to wear that outside of the frozen tundra temperatures up here because no one wants to see what I have to display. Jokes aside, dude, I wore it once when it was warm out and the tattoo I have on my chest popped out immediately, just popped out from there. I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good. I'm against it. Also, I saw what they did with the Prime Blue kit. Now, I know that was for a different initiative, but the white with the peach colors, I don't know. If we're going one of the guys, I think it was Chris from the Battered Heron, said, let's do a gray. Let's do an off gray. Let's do something like that. I would be down for the gray. I'd absolutely be down with the gray. But our pink was as bland as it could be. La Noche, is, like you've already said, is a recycled La Palma with different colors and slightly different, there's a wave on it. What are we going to...
I thought Beckham was a fashion icon. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
I mean, listen, I could respect the fact if it was like a Real Madrid classic, like the classic white kit, bring the collars, let's do that, do something cool, maybe with like pink, something like that around the sleeves. But honest to God, the last white jersey we had looked like a sheet of Charmin toilet paper.
Especially the Authentics, man. The Authentics were
Yes.
really thin. And I will say that, second half, everyone's really sweaty, right? And you can just, that sports brawl, that stat tracker brawl thing, just the black man brawl just shines through on that. But in terms of a cool, dry day, not sweating, nipples hidden, it's my favorite one. I like that nice little sheen to it. So I think we can agree on that one. Pretty unimpressed. We expect better. It's Miami. We're supposed to have a swaggy, flashy. You got Beckham. Come on, you're like an international brand yourself, and then Adidas is just disrespecting us. Maybe it was part of the sanctions.
When are we going to see a Vice City style jersey? I've been calling for this for almost 2 years now. Let's get a Vice City, or
like the Heat one.
Like the Heat. Correct. So, let's do something with the neon blue.
Yeah, so
neon
that's
pink.
Sensitive, right? So on La Palma, we had that the blue on the inside trim. You can't see it when you wear it. There's people that really don't want any blue associated with the club. They want it just pink. So that's going to be a battle. I guess resiliency of that holdout will probably die out as the years go on. We just want to do something new. So I'm not against it. I am not against it. A lot of people do want it. A lot of people don't want it. But look at Seattle's red Bruce Lee kit. That thing is amazing.
Badass. Look at DC United, and they didn't, from what I understand, they didn't do as well as the execution as the original art looked, but they're doing a beautiful cherry blossom kit. Portland has the same thing. Listen, I don't know if any of you listening are around that long, but the original Southern Legion colors had blue in them.
Yeah.
Let's take a nod to that. Wrap something together for Adidas. Say, hey, we want to do something like the Miami Heat Vice jerseys. I don't know. I would buy that.
I'd be cool with the Jimi Hendrix thing Seattle did a couple years ago. That one was pretty banging too. But spice it up. Here's what they need to do. Whatever, however long this agreement with Adidas is going to last, which is going to be way too long for any of us to actually agree or co-sign that. Everyone wants it over as soon as possible. They want independent choices in terms of clubs and kit sponsors or clothing sponsors rather, whether it be Juma, Under Armour, New Balance is doing it now, Puma, Adidas, Nike, whatever. Let's stop this. But if we're going to keep this complete control by Adidas, can we just bring an alternate kit into the fray where we get to have absolute control, and then we can give people what they want?
Well, like, shout out to these guys. Could you imagine if we gave Olive and York the chance to do an alternate kit for us? They had banging U.S. men's national teams jerseys over the World Cup, including that black one, which I absolutely loved. It was black with the, I believe, Declaration of Independence in gold cursive across the chest.
Hard.
Absolutely fire. And again, no affiliation to those guys. I just see what they're doing day in and day out. They have amazing stuff they put out. So I know they wouldn't be big enough to do something like that for the club, but they could at least put together the design and help out. Like, I think that would be amazing.
Yep. All right, moving on. I think we've beat this dead horse enough. Let's get back to your old I guess proven ground before you joined us full time here. Bring us up on some academy notes. You got someone that has a lot of talent, played really, really well in whatever tournament that was. I can't remember off the top of my head last year. Give us an update on what's going on with the IMCF Academy.
All right. So as we're kicking off their season as well, we're starting to see some of the men's youth national teams get ready for the CONCACAF U17 championships. As I've always touted, we have one of the best academies coming up. I will argue that point with anybody any day of the week. We have 4 call-ups as we stand right now. Could change, could be more here coming up. Tyler Hall and Santiago Morales were called up for the U.S. men's youth national team. Again, U17 squad.
Shout out Santiago. He's the truth.
Jay loves Santiago. All right, I appreciate that. Victor Fung was called up for the Canadian men's youth national team, and Brian Destin was called up for the Haitian men's youth national team. Again, great representation on top of the likes of Kremeshki going over to Argentina, also playing for the U.S. Our academy, as I continue to say, is churning out quality product. It's only getting better. I apologize 10 ways to Sunday for this. Our one academy coach is actually going to get elite pathway coaching training and degree or something like that. I do believe I saw. I should have wrote that down, but that's just showing that the club is investing into the academy, looking at everything they can do to help set that foundation I've been talking about for 2 years now.
Yeah, you're right. His name is Pedro Cavalcante. He's going to the Elite Formation Coaching License Program. And also shout out Brian Destin. He's also a beast. So yeah, a lot of good things coming. Patience is the key. We've sucked 3 seasons. Suck a 4th. Suck a 5th. And then it's coming, boys and girls.
Yeah. I will say, I forget how it came about, but I do believe that we lost one of our better players. I think he went back up to Toronto. And I don't want to get it wrong. I know we retained the rights to Borgelin when we sent Lowe over. I want to say Hundal left. I don't remember.
I think that's correct. And there was, who was it that was showing interest in him? Can't remember. I want to say it was someone in Europe, honestly.
Yeah, I was super upset.
He went to Vancouver. But there was another team that had
Vancouver.
interest in him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a player who was coming on strong, and then all of a sudden we just decided to move on from him. So, I mean, it is what it is. The academy's moving. If you're not familiar with it, please they do a great job just for the kids as well of highlighting their season, documenting what's going on so you can stay in the loop. It's going to be good future as long as we can get through the pain right now. Speaking of pain, Mr. Kington, let's talk about something that was a little divisive amongst the fans here across the MLS, not just down here in Miami. The MLS season pass, good sir. It is available now.
It is available now. And there's a lot of content for every other team, but Inter Miami apparently.
Correct. It is actually going to be one of those things where it's going to hold everything under the sun. It's going to be the first of its kind in live sports. It's going to have every live regular season match, the entire playoffs, the League Cup, all in one spot. There's going to be no blackouts. That's huge. No blackouts wherever you're at. The one thing I was really interested in is they said they're going to have a 5-hour whip around show. It's going to be similar to like NFL Red Zone. So they're going to keep tabs on every game going on. You'll
Yeah.
be able to, they'll show you highlights of what's going on. From what I understand too, they're gonna have like a ticker around the side of like, back in the day, the old school, like ESPN, where it ran down like games that were going on the side, and then it would pop into
Oh,
the game that was
nice.
the most,
Yeah, there should be some nice features on there for sure.
yeah.
It's obviously not going to be as great as Red Zone because Red Zone, hey, if you're in the red zone, we're going to turn it on. You got a chance to score. Footy's a little bit more difficult to predict like that. But I do like what's the Champions League one called that is on CBS, I believe. That's a good one to watch too. Same kind of concept though. And you can also stream, apparently, the rumor is, I think like up to 6 games at once you can have on the TV in little tiny boxes. So, you scoot up to about, 2 feet away from your TV and you got 6 big screens in front of you.
I do believe it's called CBS Sports Golasso.
The Golasso Show.
Yeah, there it is. Yes. But yeah, no, I mean, that's awesome. I'm the type of guy, like especially during the NFL season when I was big in the NFL, I would have 3 or 4 different TVs going with different games going on.
Oh, yeah.
I will be taking full advantage of this.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of, on that, besides having English and Spanish commentators, I guess they're also going to be offering home team radio broadcast audio. So you're not a huge fan of what's going on, or you can't watch it, you're driving. You can listen in. It's actually better than I thought it was going to be. It's only $100 for the season. That's not terrible.
You get a discount for something too, I think, to make it $79.
Yeah, but you're getting the discount, but you're paying for Apple TV. So are you really getting the discount?
Okay, there we
Right.
go.
So,
But you can do a family plan. Like my brother-in-law shares his with me, so I guess I just need to either Venmo him this $99 or $79, whatever it is, or I can maybe charge it to my card. I'm not really sure. I haven't done it yet, but you can buy it. You can share it with, I think, up to 6 of your friends, families, homies, girlfriends. You got 6 girlfriends. Go ahead and do it, man. Make them all happy. It's tough these days to keep them all happy.
I have a lot of concerns. If you're sitting around with 6 girlfriends, that is too much headache, too much problem. Don't want anything to do with that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I was the first one that said I absolutely hated the idea. The more I'm seeing how they're fleshing it out, I'm really excited for it. It's going to be awesome. Especially if you got a couple good primetime games, like we always discuss during the season. Hey, what are the games you're going to watch? Hey, now we can say we're going to watch every single one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or like if I was, out of the country or something like that, I wouldn't be able to even watch via ESPN or the app just because of my location. So I'm happy that, you can watch it basically internationally. You should gain more viewership around the world in terms of MLS. I'm sure if Messi does come, man, Apple's going to be so happy. The thing I'm concerned about is Apple leaves it up to the clubs, the organizations themselves to produce the content, most of the content, we'll say. And, been 3 years of, hey, there was a little stretch of a couple of months where we had like that insider kind of all or nothing show, which was really cool. Then that fell off. So we'll see exactly what the club can pump out. I know several of our listeners and individuals in the Discord have been watching other teams' content because there's just more of it than there is for Inter Miami. But hopefully that changes.
It would be a shame if the club let some shows, step in there and maybe help do some of the things and help connect the community to the club, not pointing fingers or shouting out at all.
Just like it was in season 1. That inaugural season was just a great time.
Emails are meant to be answered. So moving forward, before I get myself in any further trouble than I am already going to be in, eMLS, sir. We have our new athlete. Pabs has moved out to LAFC, living the life out in Los Angeles. We have.
Pretty sure Pabs is winless. I'm pretty sure Pabs is winless, unfortunately.
I do not believe so, because I think when I was watching a qualifier earlier, I think he pulled out 1. So I think when I turned it off, I think he was sitting on 4. Could be wrong. But we talked about him before. Stefan Borrello. He competed in League Series 1. Did not make it out of the qualifying round, but he did have a couple pretty good wins. He played against Columbus Crew's Godfather and beat him 5-1. And then he played against FC Cincinnati's Cisse and came back and won 3-2. As I was writing the outline for our episode today, he was actually playing, so I watched a little bit. He lost to Minnesota United's Lamps 4-1 in the first match. He won his next match versus Sporting Kansas City's Max 4-3, and I do believe he lost to NYC Gustavo for NYCFC 3-2 in the League Series 2 qualifier. If you're not familiar with eMLS, in order to make it to the next round, you have to be in the top 4 at the end of qualifying to make it. They play a fast-paced, simulated version of online co-op or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. They have set rules that are set forth by eMLS and an ultimate team style roster.
Okay, so that's different than some of the previous formats, because you mentioned the NYCFC player's name, and it was Diddley Christone, who's like the one that won it all. I think it was last year, maybe the year before. So my question is he hitting Rabonas from outside the box?
Sir, there is nobody quite like you. There's definitely a lot more team sharing and ball passing for Mr. Borello. But no, he is not hitting Rabonas outside the box like yourself.
Shooters shoot, baby. Shooters shoot.
Listen, before we continue, because I'm going to call this out, Jim Anderson is the only player I know that could be on a P clubs with both of us and have 0 goals and 100 assists because he keeps passing you the ball. There's no assist for Mr. Kington in this P club.
Not everyone can score 4 goals off 79 shots. Okay.
Not everybody can take on 6 players at once
to have a 3% conversion ratio.
6 players at once when 2 of us are doing jumping jacks in the middle of the box wide open. I'm done talking about it. You're going to make me mad.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of this little lovely pod we've put together tonight. We will be back hopefully sooner than later, praying that neither of us get sick again. That's fun. And we look to wrap out the preseason again. The last 3 preseason games are the 11th, the 15th, and the 18th. So that is a Saturday. What is today? Today is a Tuesday, so that's next Wednesday. And then the Futbol Fiesta at Drive Pink Stadium. We will see everyone out there on Saturday, the 18th, to really see where we stand before the season starts.
Absolutely.
A little concerned about the Montreal game on the 15th, because if we lose to them, we have to play them in our opener. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, I'm sure, actually, I'm more positive about that, because if we lose, I'm confident we'll see where we lacked and we'll make the adjustments, is what it is. But just little breadcrumbs for our listeners, for our followers. Keep an eye out on our social media. Mr. Kington, myself, and the rest of the Inter Miami Pod Squad are working on some enticing new projects we will be announcing here in a relatively near future. Jay, I know I'm excited. I know you're excited.
Or you can start digging around that old good interweb and see if you can piece it together. But it's coming soon. We will make the official announcement soon. But there are breadcrumbs out there for any of a little Hansel and Gretel that want to come find out what's happening before we announce it.
Not sure what I think of the accent there, but we're going to run with it. So, no, I mean, jokes aside, this is something that we've been talking about for the better part of a year now. It's going to be interesting, fun to watch it all play out, and we hope you guys are going to like what we put out there. So just keep your eyes open, keep your ears down to the earth, and it's going to be fun.
The state of the Inter Miami Podcast Union is strong. And with that, vamos. Miami.
Vamos, Miami.
See what I did there?
I like it. I do.
This is Drake Callender, and you've been listening to the Inter Miami Podcast.